Wisconsin, Mr. Duffy, for 30 minutes.
I appreciate the Speaker for yielding. Tonight, we want to have a conversation about immigration and immigration reform, because we recognize that in 1986, when Congress and the President came together for immigration reform, it didn't work. It didn't work for immigrants, it didn't work for our border, and it didn't work for America. Just recently, we've seen that our Senate has come forward with proposed legislation, and that too doesn't work. It's a proposal that doesn't secure our border. It's a proposal that won't work long-term for America. We're here to address the problems that we face in this country with real solutions that work for people and work for our country. We're here to say that we're with you, that if you want to work hard and you want to contribute to our American economy, we're with you. If you want to obey our laws, and if you want a shot at our free enterprise system, we're with you. If you believe that America has a right to secure her borders, to know who's coming in and out of our country, we're with you. If you want to pay taxes and pledge allegiance to America, we're with you. And if you want your shot at the American dream, we're with you. We're a party that looks at the big problems in our country, and we come out with big solutions to fix those problems. We're not a party of no. We are a party of solutions. And that's why I'm honored to be here tonight with a few of my fellow colleagues to talk about the solutions in regard to immigration, solutions that are going to work. And that's why I'm honored right now to yield to the gentleman from Illinois for his thoughts on immigration.
Well, thank you, and I thank the gentleman from Wisconsin for organizing the time and bringing us all together. This is an important discussion. You know, when I think back to the somebody who's a big hero of mine, Ronald Reagan, I think back to the 80s, of course, and I think of what Ronald Reagan talked about, and he discussed America as a shining city on a hill, a city that everybody around the globe looks at and says, I want to live there. Or they look at that, the United States, and say, that is a country that I want my country to look like. That's the party, that's frankly the Republican Party. And I understand that, you know what, over the last few years, the Republican Party hasn't necessarily done a great job of messaging that. That's our fault. But I look at somebody like Ronald Reagan, and I look at the vision he's put out for America, and I say, you know what, that is the Republican Party that I joined. That's the Republican Party that I believe in. The party that believes that a kid in inner city Chicago should have the same opportunity as a kid raised in the best suburbs of Chicago. That's what we believe. So when we talk about this really, I guess, controversial issue of immigration, that's just picked, you know, you have Americans on both sides of the issue and Americans that have gotten ginned up on either side of this issue that are speaking to this with anger. I think something we have to do as a nation, and something that I think we lead to do here right now, is to say, let's have this conversation about immigration, but let's do it in a way where we can discuss what America wants to be and what America's about, and how to give most people around the world the opportunity to be in America. You know, I think most Americans would agree that the first thing we have to do is ensure that we have a safe border, not only just because of the idea of immigration and ensuring that we have a system that works for everybody, but because, look, on a porous border, you have an opportunity for terrorists to come through with weapons that we don't want in the United States of America. We've seen in our schools, I visited a place called Rosecrans the other day in Rockford, Illinois, that has teenagers that are suffering from drug addiction. You know what the cheapest drug that they can get a hold of is now? You'd think maybe marijuana, right? It's actually heroin. You know where most of the heroin's coming through? It's coming through the border of Mexico. So I think when we talk about border security, we're not talking about it in an angry way. We're just saying, as a sovereign nation, we have a right to determine our immigration policy, and you can't determine an immigration policy with a porous border. And once we do that, once we have honest border security and we're honest with the American people, then we have to have this discussion about how do we passionately and compassionately deal with folks that want the American way as well, too. That's a conversation I'm looking forward to having tonight over the next few minutes. And as we move on, I'd like to yield to the gentleman from California, a great member of Congress, Mr. Cory Gardner.
Well, I thank the gentleman from Illinois, although there's many people in Colorado from California, and we maybe...
Oh, I said California.
That's quite
Colorado,
all right.
Sorry.
But we're all together on the same issue tonight on the House floor as we discuss the important issue of immigration reform. Many of us elected in 2010, elected in 2012, we came to Congress because we wanted to find ways to make America work, to get this country working again, to find ways to get government out of the way and create an economy that's strong and growing so people could find the jobs that they want to help feed their families, to send their kids to school without putting themselves into bankruptcy, and to make sure that we do indeed have a better tomorrow than we do today. And so it is starting with those fundamental beliefs that we all came here to achieve, build a stronger country, to make life work for the American families, that we recognize a nation of immigrants, a nation that provides an opportunity for people around the world, that beacon of hope, to be a place for families to succeed, to achieve their dreams about the American dream and indeed the American spirit. And so it is through those very values of compassion for the poor, compassion for people who want to build a stronger nation here at home, and the fairness that we know we can do it with, to build a system of laws that will stand strong, not just for a year or 10 years or 20 years, but moving forward beyond that, a system of laws that we know will make sure that people who want to be a great part of a healthy American economy indeed have that very opportunity. And so tonight, as we kick off a discussion on immigration, and we join people around the country who have differing opinions, as the gentleman from Illinois recognized, differing opinions on what to do, how to do it, when to do it, recognizing, though, that indeed we must do something to address a system that is broken in a way that meets those objectives of American values, compassion, fairness, and maintaining the rule of law in this country. And so I look forward to our conversation tonight, and I look forward to solutions for the American people that we can all be proud of, and knowing that this is not going to be an easy task, but one that we will address with all due and necessary urgency. And I'm joined tonight by our colleague from North Carolina, Mr. Hudson. Would yield to you.
Well, I appreciate that. I thank my colleague. Mr. Speaker, it's an honor to be here tonight. I'm a new member of Congress. I was elected just last year,